All right, hey everybody. Hey, hope everyone's having a wonderful day, wonderful week so far, starting out. Today, what we got to do, y'all, is get these panels put on this log bed. I've been procrastinating doing this mainly because I was waiting to get my plumbing done for my pup trailer. I don't have a pup trailer yet. Some of you's asked me about that. I don't have one yet. I'm gonna buy one eventually, and I'm also gonna put trailer air on the truck. We've done talked about that some. However, right now with the way things are going, we need to be hauling logs and making some money getting our bank account built back up. So in the meantime, we need to get these steel plates put on the deck of this truck, because if we're going to haul logs, we need these plates on. And what these plates will do, y'all, is keep logs from getting down in between the frame of the truck and damaging the PTO, or not the PTO, but the drive shafts, and then back there over the duals, keep from damaging air lines and air valves and stuff like that. I done already had one little bitty accident. I had a log get down in between and broke one of my air lines. And that pretty well sealed the deal on me procrastinating any further. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on. I've got the back one on. I'm going to show that one to you, show you how I done it. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to let y'all tag along while I put this one on. I've got some to go in the middle. Let me turn y'all around right here and you can see. So we've already got a plate over here in the middle, and then we've got a plate back here in the back. Now this one in the back's done. I wanted to make sure that I got it done first, because there's a lot of stuff back here. You know, you got suspension parts, airline parts, rear ends, just a whole lot of stuff that is very expensive. So I want to make sure I went ahead and got it covered up in case it got dark on me and I didn't get to work no more. But everything's been going pretty good, so I'm going to move on to the next big piece, which is up there between the front rack, and then I'll just keep working my way back. We've got a little small piece back here on the tail end. I'll show all that to you. So let's get started on this deal and get things going. Now, the first thing that I got to do is locate my holes on where I'm going to drill. This flange on this I-beam was 1 3/4 inches. I want to punch my hole right in the center of that flange, which works out to be about 7/8 of an inch, okay? So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark 1 inch from the end right here first, because that's where I want my first bolt to be. Alright. I'm also going to mark 1 inch from this end down here. Alright, and now I've done a little bit of math, and to put 4 screws in this baby, it works out to 21 5/8 from my end marks to my center mark. So I'm just going to measure that one, flip it around, we'll measure this one, 21 5/8, and then we'll measure between the two. We should have 21 5/8, and we do. Okay, now we've got our spacing on how far apart we want them here. Now we need to get our edge distance from the outside in, which, like I said, if you measure this beam under the bottom, it's 1 3/4 inches. Half of that would be about 7/8. So I'm going to go right here, lay my tape measure up here. Well, I tell you what, before we do that, let me get my framing square here. I'm going to mark these lines. Y'all be able to see them a little bit better, and so will I. Okay, so now we've got our lines. Now we need to find our edge distance. And I don't want to hold y'all up too long today, make a boring video. I just kind of want to show you something I had going. I do plan on putting trailer air on the truck as soon as possible. It's one of them deals, it's a money situation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got to get some money saved up. It's going to cost, for me to do it myself, it's going to cost right around $1,000, which ain't too bad considering the price of everything these days. Okay, so now I've got it marked there. I'm going to take my center punch and hammer, and I'm going to punch it. That'll make it easier for my drill to get started. Okay, now I would like to get a hole over here and a hole over there drilled, and then we'll put a bolt in it and cinch them down. That way it can't move while we're doing the rest of what we need to be doing. I think that would be a wise decision. That's kind of what I done last time. And I'm using grade 8 bolts, 1/4 inch. I know that's kind of small, but the good news is if they shear or something happens, I can always step the hole up to a bigger size bolt. Once you go too big, you can't go back, if you know what I mean. I've got some bar oil right here. I'm going to use it as a multi-purpose deal. I'm going to load my drill bit up with it. Tell you what, I'll drill this hole. Y'all can see it a little easier from where y'all are. Now on steel, you want to drill it kind of slow with a lot of pressure. On aluminum, you want to drill it fast and not a lot of pressure. It's kind of backwards. Let's see, let me clean these chips out a little. Put me a little more oil on my bit. I may get me another bit because it may be a little dull since I've been drilling that backside. Alright, I'm through the top piece, I can tell. I felt it when it went through, so I'm going to get me a little more oil. Once I get my bolts in, I'm going to get up here on top of it and drill it. I can put more pressure on it that way. But I would like to get some bolts in it and keep it from moving side to side, if you know what I'm saying. Now you see them big long curly cues coming out there? If you don't want them to get too long, while you're mashing down on your drill bit with a lot of pressure, it'll roll them big curly cues out. If you want it to be shorter, let off your drill and then push back down again and it'll chip them off. I learned that from my friend Ricky Couch that I work with. He's an A#1 machinist, taught me a lot of little tricks, and that was one of the tricks that he showed me, and it works good. See how it come off this end? I'm not able to put as much pressure as I'd like to, so it's being a little harder on me. You can feel it when it starts to break through. Usually if you're going to break a bit, that's when you're going to do it. It's whenever you're breaking through like that. I'll go ahead and put us a bolt in here, cinch it up tight. Keep it from moving, if you know what I mean. These panels gonna help a whole lot. Gonna make me feel better anyway. Because like I said the other day, I was loading logs and the bottom, rack of logs, I was getting on that back bump back there. And of course it was raining, it was slick, and here's a beach log. Beach is slick anyway. And on top of all that, and it just kind of slipped off my forks, or off the bunk just right. It was a tie log, it was short. It slipped right off the bunk just right and went down in between the bunk and hit that airline and broke it off. Luckily I was able to fix it, and not cause me no major issues. Okay, so let me get over to the other side and punch a hole in over there. Now, first thing we got to do on this side is we got to mark our holes. So let's do that first. Remember, we're going to go 1 inch from the ends. Okay, go 1 inch down here. And then we need 21 and 5/8 between them. 21 5/8 from this side. Well, I'm gonna get around here where I can. There we go. Alright. And then you got 21 5/8. So we're all good now. Whoop, I'm getting ahead of myself. Don't let me get too fast here. I'm trying to get done before it gets dark. I have to say the truck's been doing me a good job. Real good job. I'm able to haul quite a bit more wood. It drives good going down the road loaded. Been doing real good on that. Fuel mileage ain't too bad. Been getting about 6.5, 7 miles to the gallon with this 6NZ Caterpillar. So I can't complain about that. It's a lot more comfortable, if you know what I mean. Alright, got all of them marked, so now let's center punch them. I always hit it twice, just to make sure I got a good indentation. I don't reckon you have to, but I like to make sure I got a good deep center punch, if that makes any sense, on my drill. Will go on in. Now I'm going to try me another drill. Here, let me step over here and get this other bit. This bit may be just a little sharper. That bit's still good, but for what I'm doing here, and I kind of want to go crisscross. I drilled that bolt over there. I want to put this one over here. Go kind of crisscross from each other. It'll just help keep it straighter. And again, I'm just using this old bar oil for cutting oil. Y'all might be able to see from this angle a little bit better than last time. Alright, I made it through the first one. I'm going to clean my bed off a little and get me a little more oil. That cutting oil will save you bits, by the way. We're almost through. All right. I like to keep my wood chips, or my wood chips. We ain't cutting timber today. What am I thinking? I like to keep my metal shavings cleaned up and out of the way. So let's throw us a bolt in this hole, and then we can just press on doing a bunch of drilling, if you know what I mean. Get all the bolts put in there, everything look good. I'll take you over and show you that back one here in a minute, and I'll show you the rest of them too, show you what it's going to look like. And then when I get ready to take these babies off, all I got to do is just unbolt them and lift them off. I may come back in and put me some small angle channel across it, here, here, and here, just to stiffen it up to keep the logs from bending it, because this is only 1/4 inch plate steel, which is pretty strong, but you know how it is. Okay, so now I'm gonna get up here on this thing where I can really put some pressure on it, and we're gonna really do some drilling now. Okay, now, you know, we got 2 bolts in it. Them bolts sort of hold it while I'm up here on it. It will flex just a little bit with me on it, but it shouldn't matter. One thing I've done, I'm using 1/4 inch bolts, and these drill bits are 17/64. I don't remember what the decimal size is of that drill bit, but it's a little bit oversized for a 1/4 inch bolt. I didn't want to make them where they were hard to get in and out, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill these holes right quick, and then we'll run some bolts in them. Okay. All right, now we just got to put the bolts in it. That won't take but a minute. And then after that, I'm gonna take y'all and let you see these other panels. I'm gonna go ahead and get my bolts in the holes and get the nut started, and then we'll just come back and tighten them. I think that'll be the easiest way. This will make me feel somewhat better anyway. One thing I forgot to tell y'all about, I have to leave a little bit of room to where my binder chains can hook on the inside of this I-beam. So the binder chain has to come by this, hook on that, or by this and hook on that. You know, have to leave a little bit of room for it. And I think we got enough, pretty sure we do. Alright, that one's already good and tight. I gotta fertilize my turnips out here. I'll show y'all them here in a minute. I got some clover seeded in my garden, and also some turnip greens for cover crop, but also we eat turnip greens. What about y'all? Y'all like turnip greens? I do, especially around Thanksgiving. Turnip greens, mustard greens, collard greens. That may just be a southern thing, but if you like them, let me know down there in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. Uh-oh. There we go. Now I'm going to come back and paint these things later, Main thing right now, I want to get them on, because I did not want a chance tearing up another air valve, or air line, I mean, or anything really. I just didn't want to chance it, and I already had the panels cut and ready to go on. They just need to be drilled. All right, let me step over to the other side and we'll get that side. Boy, it sure has been some nice days here lately. Wind's been blowing, been kind of cool. Just really, really nice weather. Good weather for working. I can't complain. Okay. Got that one started. I wasn't planning on getting but one of these done today, this afternoon. I had to get Sarah Beth back home to her mama. And by the way, y'all, I mean, it's nothing that I'm proud of, but we do live in a broken home, you know. Sarah Beth's mother is a good lady, good woman. It's just in my younger age, I was too dumb to know better and too dumb to treat her right, if that makes any sense. I try my best to live for the Lord now, every day of my life, as best as I can. But there was a time, y'all, whenever I didn't. And sadly, you know, it caused me to, my family to be broke up. That's a common thing, seems like these days. Seems like the old devil just thrives on the family. You know, if he can conquer the family, he can conquer a lot. But we have a good relationship now. Me and Sarah Beth has a good relationship too. We stay in contact with each other. You know, me and Marcy gets along good, and she's taught me an awful lot about just life in general. Marcy has helped me a lot, and of course, you know, living for the Lord's helped me an awful lot. Probably more than anything. Well, I know more than anything I've ever done. Best decision I ever made was giving my life to Jesus. Ain't no doubt about that, y'all. He can turn your life around. You ain't never too far gone that he can't save you. I promise you that. Don't ever think that you are too far. He can always save you. Clean you up, make you a brand new person. Okay. So, we got this front one on. I'm going to, I think the middle one is the one we're going to do next. But I'm going to get y'all down and I'm going to show y'all kind of what we got going on here. Okay, so what we have done here essentially is we've put a panel up here in the middle. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Okay, now up here in this front, I'm not going to put nothing down in there. I may make me a little toolbox right in there. I hadn't decided how I'm going to do my toolbox just yet, but I may put me a toolbox right down in there. If not, I'm going to put me a toolbox on the side to hang my chains and binders on, because right now, I'm ashamed to say it, but right now they're sitting over in the floorboard. But with that being said, so we've got a panel here in the middle. I hadn't screwed it down yet, bolted it down, but I'm going to. And then we've got this cover over the duals, the tandems. And I've got a small one to go back here on the rear, just to keep, you know, we've got, let me pull this thing up. You see, like right down there, you know, we got that air chamber for the panel head. So, you know, putting that panel on top is going to prevent stuff from getting damaged. Not just right there, but everywhere down the length of the truck. And then, like I told you, I had to have space to hook my chains. So my chains are hooked like right here. And then, you know, we got a spot over there. And then we've got some spots right here ahead of the U-bolts. Okay. And I'm going to come back and paint them. Like I say, I mean, we'll paint them, you know, as time goes on. Probably whenever I do the air lines for the trailer. because I'll have them off at that time. So I'll go ahead and paint them, make them look good. Of course, they're not going to stay looking good very long, not being on a log truck. But as you can see, that gives it a lot more protection. Another thing it does is when they come in here to mill and run the loader forks up under the logs, it'll keep them from getting the loader forks hung in the frame also. But I'm pretty proud of this project all the way around. This is probably one of the more heavier projects that I've done on my own, but I'm pretty proud of it. What do y'all think? Let me know down there in the comments, what do you think of the overall, just the overall build of what I got going on. And I've had some of you ask me about enclosing the caps up there on the stands. I do plan on doing that. I wasn't sure if I was going to like the 5-foot stands, but I have found to be true that you can overload the truck with 5-foot stands on it, so I'm going to leave them right there where they're at and cap them. I'll get around to doing that here soon. However, it's open at the top and open at the bottom, so trash can just go right through it. Ain't no big deal. Now y'all, look, I appreciate you hanging out, just being here with me, you know, hanging out, working on the truck. You know, made a little more progress than what I had thought I was going to. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up these little panels today also, so I'll be done with that. Then all we gotta do is come back and paint and spruce things up a little bit, get the trailer air running, and we'll be in good shape. Then we'll be ready for a pup trailer. But we gotta get the, you know, we gotta keep the mule before the cart and not let the cart before the mule, if you know what I mean. So we got to get this part done and then get trailer air added, and then once we get all that done and the money kind of settles out, then we'll get us a pup trailer. And when we get the pup trailer, y'all, that's going to be cool, because right now we're able to haul about 15-16 tons legal on Big Red. When we go to the pup trailer, we'll be able to get about another 13 tons on the pup trailer legal. So that'll give us a combined 28-ton load, which is darn near 3 times what old Red could haul, and it'll almost be twice as much as what this truck can haul, legal on the axles. Here in Tennessee, we're limited to 34,000 pounds on the tandems. This truck's got a heavy front axle, which is 20,000 pounds, so we're regulated at 54,000 gross with a 10% over farm. So we can get about 59,400, something like that. 60,000, I try to stay at 60,000 or under. I've been over a few times, I've been under a few times, but I'm still learning, you know, kind of where to stack the logs and everything on this truck to make it balance good. I will say one thing about it, it does balance good. It balances the weight on the axles really nice with the tandems all the way to the rear. And I did a lot of studying on that before I put this truck together. Racked my head about it, y'all, trying to figure out where the axles need to be, what I need to do, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I found some old literature online that was a study that was done in Virginia on loading tandem axle log trucks and how the gross weights would affect axle loading. And I took that study, I applied it to what I was building, and y'all, this has worked out just about perfect. It's near about dead on the money every time as far as putting the weight where it needs to be. Now one day I may turn it into a tri-axle. I'll put a tag axle on the back and slide the tandems up. Some people says, why don't you just put a tag up here in the front? Well, you could do that, but the problem with that is you are not gaining any turning radius. And really and truthfully, with a combination vehicle in the state of Tennessee, we can't haul but 80,000 anyway. It don't matter how many axles you got. 80,000, well, 88,000 for a farm tag, 10% over. But 80,000 gross is all we can haul with a combination vehicle. So with a pup trailer and the truck, you're only going to get 80,000 pounds. It don't matter how you do it. I would rather have the turning radius, which means you would need to slide the deals up. The trunnion will need to go up to that third stand and then put a drop axle right here in this one's place. And what that would do is it would give you an increased turning radius, you know, tighter turning radius while you're in the woods. And then when you get out on the big road, pump your back axle down, stand your truck back up, transfer some weight back up on the steer tires, and you're good to go. So anyway, I got a lot of plans, but my plans are bigger than my pocketbook. You know what I mean? But anyway, thank y'all for hanging out, listening to me jabber on. Lord knows I can jaw better than anybody. But I appreciate y'all being here, hanging out, listening to me, watching the video, and just being here. I do. I appreciate you. As always, I'm going to put my email up here on the screen. If you need me, holler at me. Be glad to talk to you. And as always, I'm going to be praying for you, each and every one of you. If you're hearing my voice right now, You're important to me. That's why I'm sharing these thoughts with you, and I'm going to be praying for you. I promise you that. Hey, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button for me. If you like what we're about here on the channel, you know, big trucks, mules, gardening, mechanicking, logging, all that good mess. If you like all that, hit that subscribe button for me. That'll help us a whole lot. I appreciate you. Love you. See you next time.